Okay.
Hola, ¿cómo está toda la gente esta noche en estas frías horas, esta oscuridad de Tulum? ¿Cómo se encuentra el día de hoy? La verdad, yo lo estoy disfrutando mucho. ¿Estás disfrutando mucho el frío tú?
¡Uf! ¿Cómo no? Me encanta.
Ok. Then, como siempre ya saben, este tipo de programas son bilingües. El día de hoy nos va a tocar hacer la entrevista en inglés para que Nancy se pueda fluir un poquito más y ya poquito a poquito, y si tienen alguna pregunta, pues se las puedo ir contestando en español, ¿ok?
Perfecto.
Then, tell me, Nancy, how are you? How do you feel
Amiga, thank you for having me, first of all. We've tried this for a couple of weeks. We've had some things happen in our time here, but I'm happy to be here tonight to give you just and share my story of my Mexican journey and my music journey.
Okay. You come from Croatia, right?
My family comes from Croatia, and I grew up part-time in Canada and as well. And but my heart is really Yugoslav, Serbo-Croatian, and now I feel like my soul is Mexican.
Ah, that's good.
Yeah.
And tell me, how is what you started with this of the music? When did you decide to become a DJ?
Oh, it's a quite a interesting. My musical background was when I was a young teenager and actually young child under 10. I started taking piano lessons, and I reached, my grade 12 in conservatory music and teaching theory, and so I have a music background.
Okay,
And
that's very interesting because many people think what DJ is the same musician, and guys, it's not the same. But when a DJ has a musician background, you can feel and hear in the quality of the melodies, and that I can now understand from you.
yes, yes, it really does make a difference. And it really helped me to. So I encountered, I was dating a great guy who had turntables. And I just started, I had this interest, and this interest in the early 90s of this music that was um, new to me. It was new to me. I was used to more classical music growing up, but then the underground rave scene was very, very powerful, and I saw, I witnessed a movement that I really wanted to be a part of because it had this unity.
Do you remember the name of one of artists you hear and you say, "Wow, what is it?"
Francois K.
Okay.
Francois K. For sure, for sure. He was, and I'll get into some of the DJs that are world renowned that really helped me carve my sound. But so I started playing around with, the records as the boyfriend was away. Sasha, my daughter, was, I think, one or two, or not even one, but her diapers started to get full of poo poo. And I was like, I gotta learn how to mix these records. And I was doing it simply because of an interest. I was fascinated by it, by watching some DJs in the past.
But
And
you haven't started with turntables.
oh, I started with vinyl right off the bat. There was no other way to do
A
it.
real DJ.
A real DJ. And, Radio Shack mixer, which we upgraded to a Rain MP22 in 95. Anyway, so, or 96. So my dates, I'm getting old, so my dates might be off. But so then I really took a liking, and I always was just a bedroom DJ. I didn't have any ideas that I would ever do this for a living. I was working in film and television at the Canadian broadcast, the CBC, producing a cooking show, and I was doing quite well. And the bracket of money was high, and all of a sudden, I had a neighbor that was like, "You know what? You really know what you're doing. Why don't you come and play at the Whip," which was a local Vancouver, Canada. It was a great hangout for DJs and like parties, and I was like, "What? Me play out?" It was never even. So I went, and I remember, I think my hands were trembling. My hands were trembling, trembling so hard. And then I played, and I pulled it off. And that was like, they call it the black crack, right? When you get into the vinyl, when you get to be a DJ, it's what you want to do. It's like I couldn't think of anything else. So I started to learn who some of the people were in town, some of the other female DJs, and and then I got a chance, and it really took my life by like it just this new lifestyle of underground music, and the people that are part of it. We're all about peace, love, and unity, and I liked everything about it. So I got so into it. And then I remember the time where I actually quit my job. I quit my high paying, I had a mortgage at the time, a baby, but I quit this job and film and television to really dedicate my life to house music. And from there, my parents said, "What the F are you doing?" But it was my father who, being a professional soccer player, world class, he always taught us, do what you love. Find your passion and do what you love. So I did that. I did that. And that was really one of the best decisions that I've made.
Yeah, definitely. Then you have started to be a DJ in Canada, no?
Mm-hmm.
But before, when we were talking, when you asked to me what you're gonna answer, you told me something about the reggae music. In which moment did you arrive to that part of the reggae music?
That is such a
Was
great
before
question.
Or after?
Oh no, it was after. So this fellow that I ended up marrying, and that's where I actually have kept my name, Kidd, Nancy Kidd. What a great DJ name, right? I was able to, anyways, I was able to meet some great people through him. He was a drummer as well. Luke is a very talented DJ, and so his mother was in a reggae band, and with like some of the greats, and the sisters were backup singers, and Luke was a drummer for punk rock, but also dabbled in reggae music, and as a drummer. And he chanced upon Shuggy Mulligan, who is a very well-known reggae artist, and Alex, and they came across. They were working with Vivian Jackson, which is Yabby U, and Yabby U recorded in the studio of King Tubby. So in Jamaica, King Tubby, Horace Andy from Massive Attack. And so what happened was Vivian Jackson had this material that was all recorded when these kids like King Tubby, all these kids and Horace were 18, 19 years old. And they were just doing rhythms in Tubby's studio. So what happened was these tapes, these 1-inch analog tapes, were located in a basement in Seattle. And Shuggy was able to get these tapes. And literally, these tapes were recorded in 1972. And he was able to, they had been through hurricanes, moisture, all this damage. And with a toothbrush, they had one chance to resurrect all this old, great material. So they did that, and we got our hands on these isolated tracks. So they had drums, the bass, the vocals, everything isolated. We purchased 5 of those tracks. And what my dream was to have this roots reggae, because as I was carving my sound as a DJ, I really, really felt and resonated. I resonated with tech house, like UK and West Coast, San Francisco, Portland, Seattle tech house. But I really resonated with like worship recordings from Philly, and a lot of the more dub-inspired house music. I wasn't a big typical female DJ who would play the vocals and fluffy.
Yeah. But these tracks you made with them, where can we hear that?
Okay, so let me just give you a little bit of the history of what happened. So because I didn't have experience of going into a studio. I was a piano player, but I had no idea how to use a 303, an 808, a 909.
And even reggae music, because it's very far from the classic music. No?
Right? Right? Yeah.
It's not far, but
When
the words are different words.
It's different words, but when you understand theory of music, you really can pass a spectrum of all music, right? All music is based on rhythm. And so what I ended up doing was I thought this is such important music that I'm going to ask the DJs that I held up so high that I was even afraid to reach out to. Luke and I chose 5 DJs that were really going to represent our new label. And what we were going to do is on the A side, we would have the original Roots reggae track. And on the B side, we would have the remixed
those tracks.
So the first one ended up being DJ Garth and Marky from the Wicked Crew in San Francisco that were originally from Britain. The Wicked Crew are infamous. DJ Yano and Thomas, they're infamous and such influencers in my world. So I right away reached out to Garth, and Garth was like a big yes. And the song that we recorded, or that they were given, the first track of Vivian Jackson, was called King Pharaoh's Plague, which I actually get goosebumps because music that was recorded in 1972, that the lyrics were so present in the moments that our world is living in today, was incredible. King Pharaoh's Plague is coming down on the line. The lyrics were untimely. Like it passed through all the time. So it took a village. We were dealing with drop shipping our vinyl from Japan, getting vinyl pressed, and in Germany, Jay Tripwire, very well known producer. He mastered for us, and we just did all this work to put this label together. In the meantime, we had opened a record store in Vancouver.
Wow.
That was called Zion's Gate Records. So Zion's Gate had all these. There was a store in Portland, a store in Seattle, and a store in Vancouver. And it was Zion's Gate was, we wanted to expand that brand into Canada. And so we opened in a beautiful part of Vancouver on Commercial Drive on First. And it was an old barber shop that actually my father used to get his hair done, and when he was playing soccer, all the Italian and Slavic men went to get their that's okay. They went to get their hair done there. So we opened this store. We launched the label. In the meantime, I was, playing out, filling rooms, and then I got the best residency that ever happened in Vancouver, and that was called Rehab. And Rehab, I was at that time really into it, and really I dedicated my life to it. And the label was so welcomed, and it was a very ambitious project. And at the time, with marriage, record store, I had a stepdaughter. And, the party, if we all know what that means, we remember that. The party, my relationship with my husband then kind of we just went separate ways. So the label was put to sleep. And I'm so proud that I've reunited with my ex, Luke, and we are working on releasing 20 years later the new tracks and I'm in negotiations and talking to the new artists that we've chosen. Um, and yeah, so 2024, we're gonna see 4 releases.
Wow.
Yeah,
New.
we're gonna do 4 releases, and it's a project that I think it's just beautiful that has come back into my life. And so the label is called Twisted Roots Recordings, and yeah, so that's a kind of a beautiful history of what this roots reggae combined with a very dub inspired house music beat. We're going to see that come out. So I'm excited about that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow, a big and nice history about it's like your height. Because everybody knows to Nancy as a house DJ,
Yes.
but nobody talks about your time in the reggae music and all that you were
Yeah.
recording, or even I didn't know when you play piano.
Yeah,
So-
right. Interviews, they reveal a lot. Yeah, and we started a night called Dub Tech, and that was another thing. And it was low, like really down tempo. And at the Lotus Sound Lounge, which again was another super well known underground club in Vancouver that was legendary. We started a night on Thursday nights called Low Tech. And at Low Tech, the idea was we were going to play down tempo, dub, and reggae. And everyone told us, but no one can dance in a club like with that music. And we proved them wrong. We had these concepts in that club. We had a friend, Sheila, who made these beautiful handmade soaps. So we all smelt like patchouli hippies, and the dance floor was full. So really inspired by Ninja Tune, Nine Lazy Nine, a lot of DJ Shadow, like a lot of the down tempo. And then that was with Jamie Smith and Luke, and I can't remember the other beautiful resident that we had, but we had guests come, and it was a really successful club night, low tech. That was the whole idea, dub inspired room, and so it was like at the parties that they have the second room and that chill room, you know.
Yeah, because not all the time when you go to a party you want to feel like very high.
No,
Sometimes it's nice to-
necesitamos un poco, ok, estoy descanso, quiero, estoy en mi champiñones. I want to like get on some pillows and dance or, sit down. And so that was a something now I see in festivals that they aren't doing enough of, is the second stage, and bring back the chill room, bring back the stage where there's the heavy down tempo, the roots, the reggae. I think it's really crucial. We don't
No,
always
I
need,
feel, I feel now what the reggae is coming back to Tulum. It's not like before, but step by step it's coming back.
Yeah, and I think that's really important here in Quintana Roo. Especially, we saw the BPM festival. We've seen now Zamna, and while we all love those DJs and we love that music, I understand the travelers coming to Mexico, coming to Tulum, even me on a beach in the daytime. I don't want punchis. Bring back the reggae, bring back the bands, bring back the live music. And it really, we have a different kind of traveler here in Tulum now too.
Exactly.
And we've had a big representation of the African Americans who are visiting us, and I know
African, Mexican.
and African Mexicanos también. So I think that's really a really producers of events, hotels should really pay attention to that, It brings a very peaceful vibe, you know, it brings a peaceful vibe. And it's the daytime, so I like that idea.
And now tell me, how is what you come to Mexico?
Well, okay, so this is a nice conversation about Thievery Corporation that, you know, so many millions of people around the world know that amazing band. And those amazing musicians, you know, all of them are just so talented. So my brother was building a house in Playa del Carmen. And as we were growing up, we always were like, we're going to move to Mexico, vamos por Mexico. And so my brother was building, but I was always more inclined to go to Oaxaca, Puerto Escondido, Mazunte, Zipolite, surfing, that kind of more Pacific side. So my brother put me with some money and said, go bring this to my builder. I can't fly. And something told me, bring your vinyl with you. So I carried a heavy, heavy bag of vinyl on my back, and I got to Quinta Avenida. That was, you know, at Constituyentes, it almost like, you know, it was so young in time in the early 2000s. And in that week that I was there, I happened to meet Hugo Stepchich, who is from Philadelphia, and he was running the Blue Parrot.
Okay.
And he just started working with Rob Garza and Alejandro and Alberto to open Santanera. So Santanera, I went and I think, I know Alberto and Alejandro would remember, but they said, okay, you know, you play, can you come and audition for us? And now I've never auditioned. It was kind of funny. So the club opened in the day. I went inside and it smelled like dirty socks and alcohol. And I put a record on and they were all kind of sitting there like a panel, like, let's interview and see if this girl can really mix. And I think it was my fourth record. I did my mixes and boom, Hugo came up and said, will you work for me? Will you work for us? And I went back home and to Vancouver at the time. And I was like, okay, I'm out of here. I'm going to go follow my dream and be a resident for Santanera.
Then you came here, and thanks to Santanera, you decided to stay in
Thank
Mexico.
you to Santanera, I decided to make my life in Mexico.
Let's see some comments of people. They say, Ruben Alfred Lecky, what's up?
What's up, Ruben?
Mary
Marie.
McDonald.
Hola.
She's from Canada.
Is she?
Yeah, she's a very nice pianist and singer of reggae music.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Hi, Mary.
amazing, amazing.
Oh, so sorry, I'm a little sick because here we have the shades of the weather.
Yeah,
But
todos somos como
yes,
así.
now in Tulum, everybody is like,
Yeah.
you know, from the hot to the cold. Yeah, also in Tulum sometimes it's cold.
Ya, no, esta noche estoy en el camino de la carretera y, tengo mi suéter.
And Marie says, from the Northwest Territories.
From, the Northwest Territories, that's cold.
Yeah.
No, gracias.
No,
No, that's cold, Marie. Oh, well, the roots reggae will keep you. Michelle.
I'm your biggest fan.
She's living in Puerto Vallarta now, but she's always there with me in Tulum when she's here. Well, she used to live here for 20 years. But yeah, I miss having you here, Michelle. You're my backup dancer.
We're a song to finish. To tell me before, Nancy told me, I don't know what I will do for 1 hour. We are making already 1 hour.
Yeah, we did.
Do you have something else to say to the people? Something to share? Remember say to the people you're gonna play in Papaya Playa Project.
Oh, yes. I really want to promote that. I want to promote that for two reasons. it's Dia de los Muertos, which is such a beautiful celebration here in Mexico. And Papaya Playa Project, Litos, Emilio, everyone, Rosano, Eric Martinez, Moises, the wonderful, wonderful residents that I get to be a part of. I am playing there for the Dia de los Muertos with Rosano and Guy Gerber, which is amazing. But also, it because music really has brought the world together. I just wanted to mention this tonight because it's very personal, and Franz knows what I'm speaking about, and that's Orion Hernandez, who was at the Raves, the Nova Festival in Israel. And we've known him since he was a little boy. And Sergio, his father, is Sergio. Estamos contigo, ¿no? Y toda la familia de Sergio. But we want to, I want to dedicate my set to Orion and to give, that energy that the hostages are released from Gaza, and so that is just, that's a big thing for us.
Yeah, this is very, very sad what's happening now in the Middle East. Oh, we are also very like sad and maybe with a lot of doubts about Orion because we know him from since
Oof.
years ago.
Yeah.
And now it's not nice to know what you go to a party and in the middle of the party this kind of things happens.
Yeah, they were all there to celebrate peace. And so we're going to do that in their spirit at Papaya on the 28th of October. I'll put the links for the ticket ferry. My guest list is already full. I'm sorry, but you're on it, Franz. But yeah, it's gonna be a very legendary night. And if you don't know, Papaya Playa has been the venue of the infamous full moon parties. And I really want to thank Emilio for letting all of the talent that is in and the world talent come to play. We really appreciate that. There's nothing like a party at Papaya.
I really recommend to you go over. I make a video.
Yeah, she made a video.
In one of these days when Nancy invites me to dance. And I want to show you this video and you can see how it's good. Everything around in Papaya, the dancers, the lights, and also the music Nancy's plays is like, oof. I really like what to play.
I always say to people, play what's in your heart, even as DJs, and if you want to DJ and you're just starting out as a DJ, the biggest thing I can tell you is play what you love. Don't listen to what other people think you should play. And as an opening DJ, you're warming up a sound system. Don't ever worry if there aren't people on your dance floor. That job is one of the most important things to do as an opening young DJ, opening the space for people. And yeah, so.
Yeah. Then we are soon to finish with Sinergetica. Please give us a like in the show. If you like this, also share it. And I wanna show you this video for finish. Now before tell to everybody, thank you so much for watch us.
Thank you for having me, Ron.
Yeah, for enjoying this amazing interview with Nancy. And also lo voy a decir en español.
Sí, vamos a hablar en español.
Muchísimas gracias a toda la gente que nos sintoniza en Sinergética. Nos vemos el próximo martes con nuestra próxima invitada. Por ahí tenemos un video que queremos mostrarles para ya terminar con esto. Me comenta, bueno, lo vamos a subir. Sí. Okay, they are saying what we can show now the video, but I'm gonna to put up and I can show you after, or Nancy can to do that and show you how nice is the party in Papaya Playa Project. Then, guys, thank you so much by Watch Us. Muchísimas gracias por habernos sintonizado. A toda la gente linda que nos sigue en Tulum.
Te amo.
Gracias, Nancy.
Gracias usted, amiga. And I'm going to plug you a little bit. This girl's going to be working with some big time reggae people soon. So very excited for you.
Yeah, muchas gracias, Oscar, por haberte sacado corriendo de tu casa. Pero bueno, vale, nos vemos pronto. Y esto fue Sinergética.
Eso. Nice. That was so much fun.